The Credit Show podcast with Harry Jacobs starts now.
Another story I want to relate to you. This friend of mine called me and said, listen, my son and my daughter-in-law both have credit issues and they need a car, and I'm thinking about co-signing. We were having this discussion one day, and I said, I'll tell you what I say on the show to people, and I'll tell you what I tell my clients all the time. And over the years, the amount of calls that I have gotten where a father or a mother has helped a son or a daughter or a girlfriend or someone, and that has ended poorly, it's astonishing. There are no statistics on this, but I would imagine that, half of those events end in some sort of an issue where someone's credit's hurt, and then ultimately a relationship is hurt. How would you feel if you agreed to help someone and they turned around and didn't take the responsibility you have taken with your credit? We obviously know that they haven't, because they wouldn't need you if they had taken that care. Remember, they are coming to you because they are at high risk. You have to go into it like that. It's a business transaction at that point. When we get into a business transaction with someone, if I get into a business deal with someone, I think of three things. I think of the beginning, I think of the middle, and I think of the end. I think of the beginning in terms of how we will begin the relationship. What do we need to do this and get this rolling? You think of the middle, how are we going to operate during this time? And then you think of the end. Well, if what hits the fan, how do we split up appropriately? You got to think about those three things. And as it relates to co-signing, you got to do the same thing. You have to be ready for it. Don't do it unless you're ready to make the payment. These are the three things. I always say, don't do it unless you're ready to make the payments, number one. Number two, make sure you're the point of contact in the system for the finance company so that if there's a problem and a payment doesn't get made, that you're made aware immediately before it goes late. Make sure they contact you. You're the primary. And three, and this is a pain in the ass, make a note to check that system every month to make sure that the payment's being made. You don't want to have to babysit it, but if your credit's worth what I think it's worth to you, then I think you got to do that.
You've been listening to the Credit Show podcast with Harry Jacobs. If you need assistance with your credit, text CREDIT to 702-778-2000.